Welcome to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. A sunny day in San Bernardino, so sunny you gotta wear the shades while you're dancing, warming up. San Jose, California, the team from Northern California, taking on the Little League All-Stars from Enterprise, Utah, here at Al Houghton Stadium in an elimination game. Eric Rothman here with you at the West Regional. 6 teams participating this year in San Bernardino, Hawaii, Southern and Northern California, Sparks, Nevada, Utah, and Wilcox, Arizona. The 6 teams vying for a spot in the Little League Softball World Series starting August 6th in Greenville, North Carolina. 6 teams in a modified double elimination tournament. This is an elimination game today. Both of these teams have lost once already. Ages of the participants, 10 to 12 years old, 60 feet between the bases, 40 feet from the rubber to the home plate, and all rostered players can bat in continuous order. And it'll be Northern California up to the plate first as the away team. They're coming off a loss less than 24 hours ago. Yesterday afternoon, losing 11-4 to Southern California. It'll be Kita Gutierrez, Jada Drake, and Isabella Aguirre to lead things off for manager John Drake and the team from Almaden Little League. And they will be faced up against Hadley Holt, the pitcher for Utah. A steak and potatoes kind of girl. She's going to be looking for a steak and potatoes kind of outing to keep the Utah team alive. Utah losing to Nevada in our opening game on Saturday, 6-3. So both teams looking for their first win of the tournament as this day kicks off here in Southern California. Both the West Regional and the Northwest Regional being played here in San Bernardino. The champion to be crowned on Friday afternoon. The umbrella's out not because it's raining, but because it is a scorcher, as always here in the Inland Empire this time of year. But these girls don't mind. The experience of a lifetime, as it'll be Holt wearing the face mask in the circle, a freshly raked infield. As these girls look to dirty it up. We get going, says home plate umpire P.J. Turpin. First pitch swinging into Kita Gutierrez. Both of these teams losing in the first game they played, but really errors the story for both. With Northern California's game against Southern California last night, you look at the score, 11-4, you think, well, Northern California got blown out, and that's just not the case. After 4 innings, Northern California was leading 4-3. And a 4-run 5th and a 4-run 6th for Southern California put it away, and there were 4 errors defensively for Northern California that did not help matters. As Gutierrez behind in the count 1-2. And the same goes for Utah in their game against Nevada, where they lost 6-3. They had 4 errors defensively in a winnable game that I'm sure they would like to have back. And a drop third strike. Throw down from the catcher Nancy Platt for out number 1. Good throw by Platt. And again, I keep talking about it, but I'm always impressed by how well-rounded these girls are offensively and defensively, but I have been overly impressed with the catching play in the West Regional this year. The defensive catchers have really come out to show their stuff, and Platt with a good arm, a sharp throw down to first base. And switching the glove here early on, the catcher's mitt, as Jada Drake stands in. Drake, speaking of good glove work, she plays a mean shortstop. First pitch swinging is foul down the left field line. She came in to pitch in relief yesterday, did Jada Drake. Drake pitched after 3 innings of work for Maya Parada, who will be starting for Northern California. As they take a look at the defensive alignment for Utah, Holt and Platt working together. Paisley Cowley at third, Alexi Walker at short, Bryn Hawkins at second, and Lauren Ramos at first. Hannigan, Ferguson, and Kapoor left to right, Anzalone, Madison, and Carter left to right in the outfield. Jada Drake, her dad, John, the manager of this team, and her grandpa, Tommy, our biggest role model. Here's the 0-2 from Holt. It skips in there for a ball. Hadley Holt, the pitcher. You see John Drake, the manager for Northern California. Called third strike right on the outside corner. Back-to-back Ks to start the game for Hadley Holt. And there's 2 away. That'll bring up Izzy Agaria as we take one more look at the freeze frame. Good frame by Nancy Platt, the catcher. And a conversation between John Drake and home plate umpire P.J. Turpin. Turpin joined by Antonio Medina, Christine Larson, and Ryan Fukumoto, the 4 volunteer umpires for today's game. Hadley Holt was not the pitcher of record in the game that Utah lost to Nevada. Her teammate Lauren Ramos had a really good game in the circle. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs. All of the Nevada runs were unearned in that 6-3 loss. And now Ramos playing first base today defensively. Isabella Agaria down in the count, 0-1. Ground ball, one hopper right back to Hadley Holt, and that's a 1-2-3 inning on defense for Utah. Quick work for Hadley Holt and the Enterprise Little League All-Stars from Enterprise, Utah will take the plate when we return. The Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN are presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. The Utah team up to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. Alexia Walker, Nancy Platt, Paisley Cowley leading things off for the girls from Enterprise, Utah. And they will be dealing with Maya Parada in the circle for Northern California. This is a look back to last night's game. Parada started the game against Southern California and really had 3 good innings of work, giving up 5 hits, 3 runs, but only 1 of them earned. And she came out of the game after 3 innings. Jada Drake took over, and again, the defensive lapses in the 5th and the 6th innings for Northern California really did them in. But Maya Parada should have quite a bit left in the tank, given she only pitched 3 innings yesterday, despite the quick turnaround. And she'll be dealing with Alexi Walker to start things off. Oh, and that one hits Walker on the helmet. And quickly a base runner for Utah here in the bottom of the first inning. Right up in the underneath the brim of the helmet. That's why all these girls wear that face mask, and you also see the pitchers wearing face masks as well. Some of the infielders choose to. Better to be safe than sorry. Pitches like that as Nancy Platt, the lefty, steps in, shows bunt. A little drag bunt attempt, foul back. Platt says when she's not playing softball, she likes to ride horses. Her hometown of Enterprise, Utah. Enterprise, pretty small town, about 2.5 hours northeast of Las Vegas. About 2,000 people total in the city of Enterprise. And a lot of community support getting these girls here to San Bernardino. Another bunt attempt is fouled to make it 1-2. Utah team managed by Janelle Walker. Her daughter Alexi on first base right there. There is Nelly. That's a pass ball that allow Alexi to make it to second base. And a runner in scoring position here with nobody out in the first inning for Utah. There's a 2-2. Swing and a miss. Pitch up in the zone, got Platt to chase, and there's one away. And here's Paisley Cowley, the third baseman. First pitch swinging, sky high fly ball into left field. Hannigan under it, and she makes the catch. The runner tags from second, and Walker advances the third, and there's two away. That's one of the longer hit balls we've seen in this regional so far. Hannigan had a really good beat on it and made the catch look easy. You just got to think for both of these teams, you clean up the defensive errors you had in game number one, you give yourself a chance to win a ball game, as Northern California checking to make sure that Alexi Walker tagged up properly before she made it to third. Umpire PJ Turpin says she did. And here is Maisie Madison. Madison went 2 for 2 in the loss to Nevada. Trying to keep the hot stick going here. Fouled off 1-1.
And then like one of the other
Maisie, one of 5 siblings in the Madison clan. Slaps that one foul down the right field line. She's got Jackson and Jaylee, who are 11 years old, Tatum, who's 9, and Harper, who's 4. She is the oldest of the bunch. Trying to set an example here, down on the count 1-2. Raw speed pitch, looped out of play, foul ball. Alexi Walker 60 feet away at third base. Trying to put Utah on the board first. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Parada. Brooklyn Scott, the catcher for Northern California, keeps it in front of her. Swinging a pitch in the dirt. Scott down to first base, and that ends the inning. Utah strands a runner at third base, and we have no score at the end of one here in San Bernardino. Well, this is how you make it to Greenville, North Carolina for the Little League Softball World Series. Step number 5. First, you got to start at step 1. You win your district tournament and your sectional, state or country tournament, depending if you're domestic or international, and then the regional tournament here in San Bernardino. One winner will advance to Greenville to battle teams from all over the world. A chance to win the crown as Hadley Holt back in the circle for Utah. A perfect 1-2-3 first inning for Holt, as now she deals with Lily Ferguson, the center fielder for Northern California. And Holt has quite the story. Been one of the anchors for this Utah team. Unfortunately lost her father 5 years ago in a battle to cancer. And Coach Janelle Walker telling us, she stayed positive. She's always stayed upbeat. Her teammates have always been there to support her. She got a chance to participate in the Little League T-Mobile Home Run Derby this year, and she said that was one of the highlights of her playing career so far. I'm sure she'd like to add a regional championship to those highlights as well. Behind in the count, 2-1 to Ferguson here. Four first pitch strikes as Hadley Holt has worked efficiently here early in this one. Elimination game between Northern California and Utah. One of 4 games being played throughout the day here in San Bernardino. 2 from the West region, 2 from the Northwest region. And later today at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern, we will have an elimination game between Hawaii and Nevada. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. And a throw down on the bounced strike. And the 3rd strikeout of the game for Hadley Holt.
Now batting for Northern California, number 9, Brooklyn Scott.
And that'll bring up Brooklyn Scott, the catcher for Northern California. Northern California team from Almaden Little League. About 50 miles southeast of San Francisco. And near Silicon Valley, San Jose area. Strike called on the outside corner, 1-1. Took a lot for the Northern California team to earn a bid here to regionals. They trailed 5 runs in the 8th inning. An extra inning game in the state championship as Scott a slow roller to catch, not in time. And the first base runner of the game is Brooklyn Scott for Northern California. It'll be an infield single for Scott. It's a long throw to make if you're Cali. And even if it was perfect, I don't think they're beating Brooklyn Scott to the bag. I'll bring up Danica Garcia. The runner goes. Throw over the head of the shortstop Walker. Scott over to second. Mentioned Northern California trailed by 8 runs in the top of the 8th inning. They scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th to send it to the 9th inning, where they again trailed by 1. They were able to score 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning to advance to regionals. Danica Garcia, she's been hitting the ball well recently. She was 2 for 2 with an RBI yesterday in the loss to Southern California. Runner in scoring position here. That one will trickle foul. Someone's got to touch it. No! So Cowley did a good job letting it roll foul, but then you got to touch it before it rolls back in. One ball, 2 strike count to Danica Garcia. Holt with 3 strikeouts already. As Garcia stays alive. Danica says she likes playing competitive volleyball and basketball when she's not playing softball. Good off-speed pitch by Holt. The runner goes, throw down to third, not in time. 4th strikeout of the game for Holt as Scott advances to third base, and there's 2 away. It's a good throw by Nancy Platt. And a good slide by Scott to go to the outside of the bag. Great camera work there in the aerial shot. If you would have slid to the inside of the bag, you're probably tagged out. As Anya Kapoor stands in the right-handed batter's box. Platt saves a run there. Swing and a miss, 1-1. And Kapoor, good to see her back in good spirits. She was hit by a pitch in the shoulder yesterday. Took some time to regroup. We've unfortunately had a few injuries in this regional. This girl is really laid out on the line. Playing their hearts out here as Kapoor down 1-2 in the count to Holt, who looks for her 5th strikeout of the game. And she gets it. Called third strike on the outside corner. Strands the runner at third, and still no score as Holt gives up a single, but that's it. No runs, 1 hit as we move to the bottom of the second.
No day of rest here at Athletes Unlimited. Foul territory. Oh my goodness! And she'll make it with a slide. The action is unlimited, making every swing and every moment count.
History will be made this August as professional softball comes to Greenville, North Carolina for the first ever Athletes Unlimited Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series, August 8th and 9th. To learn more, check out littleleague.org/athletesunlimited. Bottom of the second inning, Utah back up to the plate. Lauren Ramos, Hadley Holt, Zoe Anzalone due up in a scoreless elimination game here at Al Houghton Stadium in San Bernardino, California. Eric Rothman with you for our morning affair. Maya Parada back in the circle for Northern California. First pitch swinging, fly ball, right center field, down for a base hit. As Lauren Ramos, a leadoff single to start the second for Utah. Wasting no time and going the other way. That'll bring up Hadley Holt, the pitcher for Utah. First hit of the game for the Utah squad. First pitch swinging for Holt as well over the third baseman Ortiz's head, and out of play. Hadley 5'11", one of the taller players here in the regional. And I imagine when she's in that pitcher's circle, an intimidating person to look at, especially with the speed she brings to the plate. Nice pitch by Parada as that one moved in on the hands of Hadley Holt. 1-2 to count. Well, it's got to be intimidating too. Parada in those shades, looking like the Terminator out there. There's a strikeout of Hadley Holt, the third of the game for Parada, and there's one away. That'll bring up Zoe Anzalone. Zoe and Jexley Anzalone, both cousins. Zoe playing left field today. And occasionally you'll see a batter come up to the plate without a defensive position. And that's because of the new continuous batting rule this year. Used to be the mandatory play rule where coaches would have to sub players in and out to ensure everybody got a at bat during the game. They've done away with that rule, and basically now everybody just bats whether you're playing defense or not. And I have to tell you, it has made the games much smoother. And that's a base hit over the first baseman's head and into right field. As Zoe Anzalone advances Ramos from first to third. There's runners at the corners for Utah here in the second. Another opposite way hit for the Utah offense. Perfectly placed. Good hustle by Ramos. He was off to the races, and now here's Yanitza Baez. Shows bunt, pulls back, strike called, throw down. The second is into center field, and the first run of the game scores for Utah. And I believe the design of that play was intended to be cut off by the shortstop and thrown home. But the runner, or excuse me, but the throw from Brooklyn Scott got away from her. And so Ramos scores from third. Anzalone up to second base. And Baez down in the count 0-2. Fly ball center field. Going back is Ferguson to make the catch. The second out of the inning.
Now batting for Utah, number 2, Bryn Hawkins.
And here's Bryn Hawkins, the second baseman. The runner on second base. Pair of hits in the inning for Utah, and one run has scored. It's Zoe Anzalone standing out there at second base. Parada just 26 pitches so far. That's a line drive right at Gutierrez at second, who makes the catch easily. 3 down, but 1 scores for Utah on the throwing error. A 1-0 ball game after 2. Welcome back to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. We move to the third inning here in San Bernardino. Got a close one. Utah getting on the board in the bottom of the second to make it a 1-0 game. As Northern California back up to the plate. They have not found any success yet against Hadley Holt. The pitcher for Utah, who has 5 strikeouts already and has only given up 1 hit. She faces Aspen Hannigan, the left fielder, to start things off. Layla Ortiz, Maya Parada behind her. Hannigan says her dream vacation would be to go to Italy, and her favorite athlete is Lauren Burke, player for the University of Texas. Good off-speed pitch from Holt. Not only is Hannigan a gifted softball player, says she bakes really good chocolate chip cookies. She said, the secret to my success with the chocolate chip cookies is I take the Nestle Toll House recipe and I just add more chocolate chips. More chocolate is usually good for most recipes. Here's the 3-2 to Hannigan in the dirt. The leadoff base runner here for Northern California. They look to get something going offensively. First walk of the game issued by Hadley Holt, and that brings up Layla Ortiz. Layla showing bunt. Throw down to second was perfect, but Walker just couldn't hold on as the slide from Hannigan knocked it out of her glove. A beautiful throw from Nancy Platt.
You're good, Lexi, you're good.
And the tag was there, just popped out of the glove of Walker. Oh, and Platt couldn't believe it. 1-1 the count now on Ortiz. Ortiz, who says her favorite song, despite being a big Taylor Swift fan, is How Far I'll Go from the Disney movie Moana. She chops that one back to Holt, over to first for the out, throw to third. Not in time, one away. And as somebody with 2 young daughters, I have heard that Moana song about 15,000 times in my life.
Now batting for Northern California, number 5, Maya Parada.
Eric Rothman here with you as Hadley Holt trying to keep Aspen Hannigan from scoring as she stands 60 feet away. Maya Parada up to the plate. Strike called. Parada and then Azareas Garibaldi Munoz in the on-deck circle before the Northern California lineup flips to the leadoff batter, Kira Gutierrez. Bunt from Parada in foul territory, 0-2. So close to being a perfect bunt for Parada. Now she's down in the count, 0-2. Holt delivers. Slap the other way and foul. Hadley Holt with 5 strikeouts in the game so far. And maintain the 1-0 lead here in the elimination game against Northern California. Here's the 1-2 from Holt. Skips in there, gets away from Platt. And Utah lucky that the runner, Aspen Hannigan, didn't make a break for it. And we'll see if Hannigan deciding to stay at third might be the difference here. Strike 3 called. Right on the outside corner, there's 2 away.
Now batting for Northern California, number 71,
6 strikeouts for Holt. And Azareas Garibaldi Munoz will step in. The winner of our game here today will face the winner of our afternoon game between Hawaii and Nevada tomorrow at noon Pacific. And another elimination game before the semifinals start on Wednesday. 1-1 the count to Garibaldi Munoz. Azareas, their nickname is Ozzy. Favorite athlete is Steph Curry. I'm sure a lot of Golden State Warriors fans in this Northern California contingent. More good glove work by Nancy Platt. Hannigan still standing at third base, 60 feet away. Holt trying to get out of the jam. That that one gets past Platt. Hannigan scores from third, and we've got a tie ball game. So a 3-1 count. Now the base is cleared, 2 away. And a walk to Azraeus Garibaldi Munoz. Second walk of the inning issued by Hadley Holt. And she's going to ask for a water break here. That's one of the things we make sure all these girls, if they need a water break, they get it. It is hot in San Bernardino. Doesn't matter if you got the early game or the late game. As you see Holt's line so far, 2 2/3, giving up just 1 hit. Pair of walks here in this third inning. Tie ball game between Utah and Northern California. We've already got a couple teams that have advanced to the semifinals. That'll take place starting on Wednesday. Arizona and Southern California will meet in that game. And this is how the states have stacked up historically. Little League Softball World Series champions. The most ever have come from Texas with 14, leading the way. Florida with 8. California with 5. Utah hasn't had one yet. As Kira Gutierrez takes a pitch in the dirt, 1-0. Gutierrez struck out to lead off the game. Back up now for her second plate appearance. Foul ball, 1-1. You talk about these girls playing hard and sacrificing their bodies. Gutierrez made one heck of an effort yesterday on a shallow line drive to short, diving to try to make the catch, knocked the wind out of her, was shaken up for a few minutes, stayed in the game, and here she is less than 24 hours later. The count now to Gutierrez, as Nancy Platt has been very cognizant of what Garibaldi Munoz is doing down there. At first, Garibaldi Munoz, a little smirk, kind of taunting Platt. We've seen Platt's arm. I don't know if you want to taunt her too much. 3-1 pitch gets by the third baseman Cowley, and everybody will be safe. Good hard hit ball by Gutierrez. Guesses they'll issue an infield single. Garibaldi Munoz over to second. Gutierrez, a 2-out single, stands at first, and here's Jada Drake. And Paisley Cowley will walk it off here for a second. Excuse me, that's Yanitza Baez. Baez, who got hit in the ankle by that line drive. One more look at it. Kind of nicked off the glove and then right into the right ankle of Baez. She will stay in the game.
Hey, we just need one. We just need one.
So Northern California looking to continue the 2-out rally here with Jada Drake. Runners at first and second. Tie ball game. First pitch to Drake. Misses low. Jada struck out looking in her only plate appearance so far. So as they've given the option, kind of order the fettuccine Alfredo. 1-0 from Holt. 2-0. Swing and a miss, and a ball in the dirt through the legs of Platt. Both runners move up 60 feet, and there's two in scoring position now for Jada Drake. Garibaldi Munoz at third, Gutierrez at second. Two-1, strike called. The first real challenging inning so far for Hadley Holt. She went 1, 2, 3 in the first. Faced 4 batters in the second. Leadoff walk to Hannigan, who came around to score here in the third. Tie it up. Swing and a miss. Little bouncer in the dirt. Second time Drake has struck out in the game, and that ends the threat. Runners stranded at second and third. One does score. We are all tied up. Heading to the bottom of the third inning, the West Regional elimination game between Northern California and Utah. Northern California, Utah tied at 1, moving to the bottom of the third inning. The Little League Softball Regionals presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Eric Rothman with you as Utah, the bottom of their order, due up here in the third inning. Jexley Anzalone, Natalia Bracken, and Sophie Carter due up. At Al Houghton Stadium in San Bernardino, Maya Parada is cool, calm, and collected in the circle. The winner will play tomorrow at 3 Eastern here on ESPN+. They will play the winner of Hawaii and Nevada. That game later on this evening at 7 Eastern. As Jexley stands in. We'll say so far, considering that the defensive woes did both of these teams in their opening game losses, they have both really cleaned it up so far today. Some good defensive efforts. Strike called on the inside corner. Jexley says her favorite food is crab. I'm wondering where in Utah you could get a nice fresh crab for dinner. Although I will say, I contradict myself, my favorite sushi restaurant that I've ever been to is at Salt Lake City, Utah, ironically. Two misses low and away. Parada working here, a full count against Anzalone. Not to be. And it's a leadoff walk for Jexley Anzalone. Third straight inning, the leadoff batter has gotten on for Utah. Alexia Walker was hit by a pitch in the first. She did not score. Lauren Ramos singled to lead off the second. She did score. We'll see what happens here as Jexley's on first base and Natalia Bracken comes up to the plate. Bracken, cousins with Utah pitcher Hadley Holt. First pitch strike to Natalia Bracken. Fly ball, right center field, a base hit for Bracken. Utah threatening here in the third. hit, or 3 hits now for Utah. I think all have been the opposite way. Bracken and Zoe Anzalone and Lauren Ramos going oppo. As Sophie Carter takes a strike. You got Sophie Carter 4'11". You've got Hadley Holt 5'11". Aaron Judge, Jose Altuve situation. And 1-1 to Carter. And Parada just looking for an out. Get something going here. That misses not by much. Runner goes, and Jexley Anzalone slides into third safely. Natalia Bracken moved up to second base. Good aggressive base running. And now 2 runners in scoring position now for Utah. And a 3-1 count to Sophie Carter. Ground ball to the third baseman. Ortiz, she comes home. The tag not in time. And Anzalone breaks the tie as the fielder's choice. Probably the right decision. Would have been a long throw over to first. But Anzalone sliding underneath the glove of Brooklyn Scott. And it's a 2-1 Utah lead. So runners at the corners for the leadoff hitter, Alexi Walker. Walker was hit by a pitch to lead off the game for Utah. And now Bracken is at third. Carter takes second base, and there's runners at second and third. A walk to Anzalone, a single by Bracken, a fielder's choice for Sophie Carter in the RBI. Still nobody out. Utah trying to break this one open. As Parada struggling to find the strike zone here. Ground ball. Good glove by Ortiz. The throw on to first is in time. And there's one away, but a run does score to make it 3-1 Utah. RBI ground out for Alexi Walker as Bracken comes in to score. Sophie Carter moves up to third, and here's Nancy Platt. The catcher who struck out in her only plate appearance so far. Nancy, 13 years old, and again, can't say enough how good she has been defensively. And she has not only made some great plays with the glove, but she has made 3 drop third strike throws accurately down to first base. And that is not as easy of a feat as you would think it is. And she has made it look easy here. 1-1 count to Platt. As Carter awaits 60 feet away at third base. Parada deals. Ground ball, left side, gets through the infield. And another run scores for Utah. RBI single for Nancy Platt, and it's 4-1. Platt found a gap on the left side of that infield. And that'll bring up Paisley Cowley with 1 out and a runner on first base. Already a 3-run inning here for Utah. pitch to Paisley Cowley, smacked into left field, but foul. She got a hold of that one. That would have been a four-bagger had it have landed in fair territory. Cowley, look at that smile. She knows she was so close. Here's the 0-1. Skipped in and hit her. Second hit batter of the game. As Platt advances to second. Cowley is on at first. And Utah third continues here with the cleanup hitter Maisie Madison, who struck out to end the first inning. And one away here in the bottom of the third. Madison, who went 2 for 2 yesterday in a loss to Southern California, had 1 RBI in that game, looking for some more here. She has her favorite team, the New York Yankees. Fly ball down the right field line, foul. I guess when you live in a state like Utah that doesn't have a pro baseball team, you're kind of a fan free agent to pick whoever you want. Madison down in the count, 0-2. Parada would love a strikeout here. And that does not miss by much, just off the outside part of the plate, 1-2. Madison swings at a pitch in the dirt. First base occupied, and there's 2 away. Second time Madison has struck out today. And that'll bring up Lauren Ramos. Singled and scored in the second inning.
Now batting for Utah number 12, Lauren Ramos.
Nancy Platt, the runner at second, dancing off the bag. Paisley Cowley, the runner at first. That one misses up and in, 2-0. Throw back to second base, not in time, as Platt has drawn quite a bit of attention over there. And I imagine Platt, being a catcher, knows what she needs to do to get the catcher's attention. Ground ball to the shortstop, Drake. Long throw, it's a good one for out number 3. A 3-run third inning for Utah, and they lead this elimination game 4-1. Northern California back up to the plate when we return here at San Bernardino. Four-1 lead for Utah. We move to the top of the 4th inning, and we see a new pitcher in the circle for Utah as Lauren Ramos will replace Hadley Holt. Holt had a darling of a game, 3 full innings, striking out 7 Northern California batters. She gave up 1 run on 2 hits. So it'll be Lauren Ramos who comes in. Ramos, who started and threw a complete game in the loss to Nevada in the opening round. She went 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, and 6 strikeouts. And Holt will move over to first base. There's Hadley's line, 3 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, 7 strikeouts. Good work by Hadley Holt, and I imagine manager Janelle Walker hopes to be able to pitch both Holt and Ramos in the next game if Utah were to advance.
Now pitcher number 12.
Still have to hold on to this lead here against Northern California. So it'll be Ramos to face the heart of the Northern California order. Izzy Agedia, Lily Ferguson, and Brooklyn Scott due up. Not a cloud in the sky. No wind to speak of either. You see the flags out there in center field. Limp. And even though it's hot, I think if given a choice, this 9 a.m. game is probably the one you want. Before it gets up into triple digits. Here's Agedia. It's a first pitch called strike on the outside corner from Ramos. Izzy grounded out in the first inning. Favorite vacation she ever went on was to Switzerland. Paisley Cowley back at third base for Utah. Yanitza Baez has moved out to left field. And Jexley and Zalone in right. Ground ball to Bryn Hawkins, out number 1.
Now batting from Northern California, number 77, Lily Ferguson.
Let's go, Utah! You got this!
Fly ball in the right field for Lily Ferguson on the first pitch she sees. And hands alone under it for out number 2. And that'll bring up Brooklyn Scott with 2 down and nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. Ramos dealing. Brooklyn says her favorite TV show is Survivor, which I think has been around longer than she has been alive. One pitch. Two 2-1. Skied high to center field. Madison coming in, and she can't make the catch. What an effort by Maisie Madison. Had it in her glove for a moment, and then it rolled out. Almost with a spectacular grab. Little smack of the glove there. Said, I can't believe I didn't hang on to that one. Made a great run on the ball and just about an inch too much. And so Brooklyn Scott on to first base with her second hit of the game. Strike called, runner goes, throw down. And Scott into second as strike called on Danica Garcia, 0-1. Another good throw by Nancy Platt. Oh, and 2 now as Garcia fouls that straight back. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And Garcia once again stays alive. Garcia 2 for 2 with an RBI and a loss to Southern California yesterday.
This is your count, Lauren, your count.
0-2, skipped in there. Brooklyn Scott dancing off second, decides to stay.
You're still way ahead. This is your count.
Ball and 2 strikes to Danica Garcia. Swings at a pitch in the dirt. Platt squeezes it. Throw down to first is perfect. And Utah, a clean frame defensively. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Utah 4, Northern California 1 in San Bernardino. We want to see some girls with game? Well, tune into the excitement of the hashtag Summer of Softball and visit LittleLeagueSoftball.org for great content, information about starting a softball league, and more. LittleLeagueSoftball.org. 4-1 lead for Utah as Northern California gets their warm-ups in defensively behind a new pitcher. Reyes Garibaldi Munoz takes over in the circle for Maya Parada. Ozzy, as she is known, the 11-year-old left-hander for Northern California. All other players defensively stay the same. As Garibaldi Munoz was an extra hitter in the lineup, so she did not have a defensive assignment. Comes straight in to face Hadley Holt, the leadoff hitter for Utah here in the 4th. It'll be Holt, Zoe Anzalone, and Yanitza Baez due up. Holt struck out in her only plate appearance. So that closes the book on Maya Parada. Gave up the 4 runs, 4 hits. Sky-high fly ball right to Jada Drake at short for out number 1. I would say that ball touched the clouds, but there are no clouds here in San Bernardino today. And that'll bring up Zoe Anzalone. Single in her only plate appearance. Well, at least we got a little breeze kicking up. The flags are starting to move. A flag in the outfield for each state represented here in the West and Northwest regionals. Kita Gutierrez fields that one. There's 2 away. Really strong middle of the infield defensively for Northern California. Jada Drake at short and Gutierrez at second. As Yanitza Baez steps in. First pitch swinging. Gutierrez makes it look easy. 1-2-3 inning for Ozzy. Reyes Garibaldi Munoz. High fives all around. We'll see if Northern California can get something going offensively. They trail at 4-1 as we move to the 5th. The Little League Softball Regionals, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Sunshine and palm trees in Southern California. A 4-1 game. Utah on top, trying to keep their tournament hopes alive in this elimination game with Northern California. Lauren Ramos back in the circle for her 2nd inning of work. Gave up a hit, struck out 1. Gave up no runs in the 4th inning. As we move to the top of the 5th, the winner plays the winner of our Hawaii-Nevada contest. That'll take place tomorrow at 3 Eastern. Hawaii and Nevada will play today at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. As Anya Kapoor leads it off for Northern California, trying to get something going here offensively. As Ramos called strike by home plate umpire P.J. Turpin. Another great game by these umpires Again, all volunteer umpiring crew, you know, they are selected. There is a selection process. And it is an honor to be asked to participate as an umpire here at the Little League Softball World Series. But, you know, still they're volunteers and they're taking time out of their day and their jobs and their lives to be here. And we appreciate the effort. And I know these players and coaches do as well. As everybody before each game, there's the player and parent pledge that's read over the loudspeaker. And one of the big things is we treat umpires with respect here in Little League. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Well, Lauren Ramos looks like she's going to need to get the sewing kit out after this game is over. As you see, second base umpire Christine Larson, Antonio Medina at first. Big hole on the leg there, the left pant leg of Ramos. That's when you know you're playing hard. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Ramos, second strikeout of the day, dialing up the velocity and going upstairs on that one. And now Aspen Hannigan comes to the plate. Hannigan walked and scored the only run for Northern California in the game. Her favorite actor is Andrew Garfield. So we've had some favorite actors from players. We've got a couple from Tom Holland, a couple Andrew Garfield. I guess it depends which Spider-Man movie you like the most. Now this age group, I'm not expecting to see any Tobey Maguires, but you never know. And there's somebody, I forget who, I was looking at the questionnaire, somebody saying that their favorite movie was the most recent animated Spider-Man movie. Here's the 0-2. As Hannigan stays alive. That young fan has no idea what to do after he's got the softball in his hands. Said, I worked really hard to get the foul ball. Now where do I go with it?
1 ball, 2 strikes.
One, two. He's going to take his ball and maybe go practice. He's going to go practice his softball pitching form. The 2-2. Off-speed pitch. Third consecutive strikeout for Lauren Ramos, and there's 2 away.
Now batting for Northern California, number 1, Layla Ortiz.
And that'll bring up Layla Ortiz, the third baseman, who grounded out in her first and only plate appearance. First pitch, misses in, 1-0. Ortiz, Taylor Swift fan. Taylor still marching across the United States, selling out gigantic venues wherever she goes. And my wife, who is quite a Swiftie, let me know that Taylor's concert, and I believe it was Argentina or Brazil, said they had 2 million people online trying to get a ticket. So I would not recommend a resale ticket in South America if you're trying to see Taylor Swift. The Northern California girls being informed. You can check out Taylor Swift this weekend. And she will be in Santa Clara. I would assume that's at the Levi Stadium.
Go, you got this. Same spot.
Here's the 3-1 to Ortiz. And that'll make it 3-2.
Hey, you're in control, Lauren. You got this.
Ramos looking for a 1-2-3 inning here. Has struck out the first two batters. The 3-2 to Ortiz. Ball 4.
Good miss. Good miss. Amen. Get her
First walk issued by Ramos.
Number 5, Maya Parada.
And that'll bring up Maya Parada, who just came out of the game as the pitcher. And Ramos taking a water break. The cool down rag. Ramos up to 18 pitches this inning. A long at bat there with Layla Ortiz. Maybe a little discomfort too in the throwing arm.
one visit to the home team.
Ramos looked like she's ready to go. I'm a little concerned how quickly my producer Ryan had the tour date schedule of Taylor Swift on hand. That's neither here nor there. First pitch up and into Parada. Favorite athlete, Hulk Hogan. How about that? Here we go. I'm always amazed when we see the answers to these surveys to these girls that are 11, 12 years old. Music and actors and movies and athletes that far predate their existence. But the Hulkster is a generational talent, that's for sure. And that'll end the inning. Alexi Walker takes it herself. A runner stranded, nobody scores for Northern California. We move to the bottom of the fifth inning. Utah back up to the plate and up 4-1 at the West Regional.
Let's go, it's time to play some softball. All the emotions, all the fun in Greenville, North Carolina at the Little League Softball World Series. They will remember this forever.
August 6th on ESPN and ABC, the Little League Softball World Series, Greenville, North Carolina. Who will take home the championship this year? 14 times a team from Texas has done it. Eight times a team from Florida, California in third. We haven't had a Utah team or a Nevada team or an Arizona team. I'd like to get a champion from the West Regional. That would be great. As the icy treats starting early and often here in San Bernardino. Bryn Hawkins leads things off for Northern California up against Azareas. Garibaldi Munoz, the lefty for Northern California. Hawkins and this Utah team up 4-1. Hawkins says she's a Chicago Cubs fan. So I mentioned, you're in Utah, you don't have a professional baseball team. We've got one teammate who's a Yankees fan, now Bryn, who likes the Cubs. And we'll see if Las Vegas ends up getting the Athletics. Enterprise, Utah, only about 2.5 hours away from Las Vegas, so I wonder if these girls will adopt the A's as their team of choice. 4-pitch walk issued to Hawkins. And that'll bring up Jexley Anzalone. Las Vegas all of a sudden has become the epicenter of professional sports after not having a team for so long. There's Garibaldi Munoz struggling to find the zone here after a 1-2-3 debut inning in the 4th for her. I believe I've seen the renderings for the Athletics' new stadium. The intent is to put it right on the strip where the Tropicana is. So you'll have that. You'll have Allegiant Stadium just on the other side of the highway behind some of the hotels over off the strip. And you've got the Las Vegas Golden Knights. It looks like we'll have a pitching change here. 1-0 count to Anzalone. We'll tell you about it when we return here in San Bernardino. New pitcher for Northern California is Jada Drake, who comes in with nobody out and a runner on second here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Drake pitched a few innings yesterday in the loss to Southern California. Pitched well, didn't get any help defensively. A lot of errors behind her. So we'll see what she does here. She comes in and takes over a 1-0 count on Jexley Anzalone. And we'll let you know the defensive changes here in a moment. One and two, the count now to Anzalone. Kira Gutierrez moves over to shortstop from second base. Ortiz, the new second baseman, she moves over from third. Danica Garcia will play third base. Everybody else will stay the same. 2-2. Sharp grounder to the third baseman Garcia over to first. In time. Great stretch by Izzy Agadia over at first base to get the out. There's one away. Yeah, that was the defensive help that Jada Drake just didn't get yesterday. Nice play by Danica Garcia over at third. And that'll bring up Natalia Bracken, who singled and scored in the 3rd inning. First pitch swing, fouls it straight back. Bryn Hawkins, who walked to lead off the inning, stands over at second base. Natalia says her favorite softball player is Jenny Finch, and I don't know if there's been any player to do more for softball in this country than Jenny Finch. Talk about a generational talent. And how cool is it going to be for these girls who make it to Greenville, North Carolina, to be able to watch the pros from Athletes Unlimited August 8th and 9th playing in the first ever AU Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series. The 2-1 to Bracken. Swing and a miss.
Hey, find it right here. Let's go. Find the way, huh? There you go, Miss Natalia. Drive it, girl. Drive it.
The 2-2. Foul ball off the leg of Bracken. As the bottom of the Utah lineup, Sophie Carter on the on-deck circle before the lineup turns over to leadoff hitter Alexi Walker. That one right off the shin. The break even from Drake. Chopper foul.
Hey, winner right here. Let's go now, huh? Come on, Find the way right here.
Hawkins waiting patiently at second. Good at bat here for Bracken. 3-2 now. Eighth pitch of the at-bat to Bracken. And that pitch did not miss by much.
Hey, win the winner,
Now batting for Utah, number 33.
So walk to Bracken. And that brings up Sophie Carter. Reached on a fielder's choice, had an RBI, and scored in the third inning. Part of a 3-run third inning. And all the run production, well, I should say 3/4 of the run production, has come from 10 through 12 in the lineup for Utah, as Anzalone, Bracken, and Carter have all scored, but back in the third inning. And the difference in the ball game right now. Slow grounder to shortstop Gutierrez, goes to the force out at third, and there's 2 away. Smart play by Gutierrez and a good job by Danica Garcia to be ready to field the throw. And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Alexi Walker, for her third plate appearance. Was hit by a pitch in the first, grounded out, but did have an RBI in the third. Now on with runners at first and second and 2 away in the fifth. Strike called. Walker, when she kind of twists out of the way of those inside pitches, leads with her head, and that's where she got hit in the first inning. Was hit on the bill of her helmet. That's a sharp line drive that just missed the fair foul line. And it's not that Walker is intentionally leaning into pitches. It's just when she turns away, it's that her head kind of angles in towards the plate. And here's the 1-2 from Jada Drake, trying to get out of the jam. Off-speed pitch, fouled away. An elimination game between Utah and Northern California, trying to keep their hopes of a trip to Greenville alive. Here's the 1-2 again. In the dirt. Break even. This is up, and now a full count to Walker. And a walk to Walker would load the bases. Walker staying alive, making Jada Drake work for it. Lifted into the air to right field, and Kapoor makes the catch for out number 3. 2 stranded, nobody scores. Utah on top by 4 and 3 outs away from claiming victory here in San Bernardino. Oil League Softball Regionals on ESPN are presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. 4-1. Utah on top, the top of the 6th inning in Northern California, down to their final 3 outs. They need 3 runs at least to keep this game going. Lauren Ramos back in the circle for Utah, trying to close it down and keep Utah's hopes of a championship alive. An elimination game here today, where the winner will face the winner of our Hawaii-Nevada game. That will take place later on today. The winners will face off tomorrow. And we'll see if Utah will be the one to claim the first spot in that game. Not a good start to the inning, as Azareas Garibaldi Munoz beamed. And that will turn the lineup over to the leadoff batter, Kira Gutierrez.
Hey, get her, she goes, man. You ready, Lexi?
Northern California has been in this position before. The state championship game that went to extra innings, they were down 5 runs in the top of the 8th inning. The bottom of the 8th, scored 5 to tie it. They were down 1 run in the 9th and scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th to win it and advance to the regionals. So they're not going to give up anytime soon. As a wild pitch sends Garibaldi Munoz to second. Northern California scored 1 run in the 3rd inning. That's been it. They have only had 1 hit since then. Fair ball, fielded. And a safe call over at first base, as the throw not in time. And there's runners at the corners here with nobody out. Running hard was Gutierrez out of the box. And Cowley's throw was not in time. So now Jada Drake comes up in a big spot. One count to Drake, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, and down on the count 0-2 here. Runners at second and third as Gutierrez advances. And now all of a sudden Jada Drake representing the tying run for Northern California. She's down on the count 0-2 to Ramos. Fair ball, throw home, they need a tag, not there. It was not a force out, and Garibaldi Munoz slid under the tag. Everybody safe, runners at the corners. Northern California still very much alive.
California, number 12, Izzy Aguirre.
Let's go, Lauren! Let's go, Lolo! Hey, defense! Let's go, girls!
And now Izzy Aguirre up with runners at first and third. Shows bunt, pulls back, ball 1, runner advances down to second. And the tying run is at second base. Nothing has gone right for Northern California offensively this entire game. And here they are, second and third, nobody out for Aguirre. And Ramos behind in the count, 2-0. Izzy has grounded out twice in this game. Once to the pitcher, once to the second baseman. Ahead in the count, 2-0 here. Grounds it to the pitcher. Look back at third. Gets the out at first. The throw home. Gets past Platt. Here comes the tying run. And Jada Drake scores. A fielder's choice to the pitcher results in 2 runs and a tie ball game here on the top of the 6th inning. Wow, how things have turned on a dime. Gutierrez scores first. The throw back to home got away from Platt. Jada Drake scored to clear the bases. Just one out and a tie ball game here in the top of the fourth inning as Lily Ferguson stands in. Good aggressive base running by Northern California. 3 runs here in the 6th. We got a time called by home plate umpire PJ Turpin, and he sends the Utah team to the dugout. Yeah, PJ Turpin is getting a little hot behind home plate. He needs a break. He needs a water break. Boy, it's hot not only for these players, but for the umpires as well. And that's the last thing we need, is to have one of our umpires go down. So we'll take a break. PJ Turpin getting a break, and so will we. 1 out, tie game, top of the 6th. The tie game here in the top of the 6th inning with 1 out. 3 runs have scored for Northern California to tie it here in the 6th. We are on a break right now as the medical team tends to home plate umpire PJ Turpin, who paused the game. As you could tell, he walked into the dugout, was feeling the effects of this San Bernardino heat. And so he is being checked out right now, and obviously we hope that he's able to return. If he's not, one of the 3 other umpires, Antonio Medina, Christine Larson, or Ryan Fukumoto, will take over behind home plate. Northern California with all the momentum right now. And this is how we got to this tie ball game, as a little slapper leads to 1 run as Garibaldi Munoz scored, and then the throw from first baseman Hadley Holt gets past Nancy Platt, allowing 2 runs to score on the ground ball out by Izzy Agaria. And so now the base is cleared and 1 out for Lily Ferguson as soon as we get our umpire situation cleared up. Eric Rothman here with you as we await the delay. And there is an alternate umpire here, and he will, as we are getting word, become the home plate umpire. That is Ray Valverde. And so unfortunately, PJ Turpin, our original home plate umpire, having to come out of the game. And it is hot in San Bernardino, California, as for sure. So we'll step aside as they get the umpires back in order. Tied ball game in our elimination game at the West Regional.
Let's go. It's time to play some softball. All the emotions, all the fun in Greenville, North Carolina at the Little League Softball World Series. They will remember this forever.
Greenville, North Carolina, the home of the Little League Softball World Series, starting August 6th on ESPN and ABC. The Little League International Tournament begins with local leagues selecting their all-star teams, and then you got to win your district tournament, your sectional, your state, your regional, and then you make it to Greenville. It's not easy, but it is a experience of a lifetime. You see the fans, the umbrella, the cold drinks. Like I mentioned, it's hot, and everybody at Al Houghton Stadium trying to cool off. We are in a delay right now if you're just joining us. Our home plate umpire, PJ Turpin, stopped the game on an 0-1 count to Lily Ferguson in the top of the 6th inning with 1 out as he was struggling to deal with the heat. And he will be replaced by an alternate umpire, Ray Valverde. And there is Ray with 27 on his right arm. And we should hopefully have the girls take the field. And unfortunate timing of the stoppage of play, given the momentum that Northern California had. 3 runs here in the top of this 6th inning to tie the game at 4. The inning started with Azareas Garibaldi Munoz getting hit by a pitch and then coming all the way around to score. And then Gutierrez and Jada Drake would score after this ground out by Izzy Aguirre. And then the throw gets past Nancy Platt at home. Drake slides in to score. And Northern California, who prior to this inning had only 1 run and 3 hits, now all of a sudden tied up at 4. And a new umpire behind the plate. We'll see how that affects things. Lauren Ramos back in the circle to try to continue the top half of the 6th inning. And it will be Lily Ferguson to continue her at bat. An 0-1 count, 1 out, and nobody on the base paths. First pitch swing, kind of a half swing. She chopped at it. Liner to Walker for out number 2. And that'll bring up Brooklyn Scott with 2 outs.
Let's get 1.
And you wonder if that break helped Lauren Ramos settle down a little bit. Scott takes a strike. Brooklyn, the catcher for this Northern California team. Swing and a miss. Ramos trying to get out of this inning. Give her team a chance to win it in the bottom of the 6th. Foul territory. Hadley Holt made a good run at it. Count remains at 0-2. Ramos deals to Scott in the dirt, 1-2. Pitch up in the zone, same spot, foul territory, same result. Brooklyn Scott hanging around. Trying to make something happen here with 2 outs. Ground ball. Gets by the 3rd baseman, Cowley. And the go-ahead run is at first base for Northern California. Infield single for Brooklyn Scott, with Danica Garcia coming up to the plate.
Let's go, Lauren. This is all you, girl. You got it. Nobody better.
Danica went 2 for 2 with an RBI yesterday, has struck out twice today. First pitch swinging, 0-1.
You and the batter. You and the batter.
Just give the batter.
Chopper to the pitcher, Ramos for out number 3, but not before Northern California scores 3 runs in the top of the 6th inning to tie this game. We go to the bottom of the 6th with Utah, a chance to win it when we return. Northern California comes back to tie it in the top half of the 6th inning as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Here at the Little League Softball Regional in San Bernardino, California, Utah, a chance to walk it off if they can find a run here in the bottom of the 6th. This elimination game as the winner stays alive and the loser will unfortunately have to go home, but both of these teams showing you why they deserve to be here, that's for sure. No quit in the Northern California team. Down to their final 3 outs, score 3 runs to stay alive as Jada Drake in the circle for Northern California. It'll be Nancy Platt, Paisley Cowley, and Maisie Madison, the 2-3-4 hitters due up for Utah. The winner will play the winner of Hawaii and Nevada. And before we get the inning started, looks like we have a defensive change for Northern California. Al Houghton Stadium, the home of the West and Northwest Regionals here in San Bernardino, California. Eric Rothman with you. As Nancy Platt stands in. Utah needs 1 run to advance. Fly ball, shallow left field. Going back is the shortstop, Gutierrez. She can't make the catch. And the leadoff hitter is on for Utah. First pitch swinging for Nancy Platt. Found no man's land in the Bermuda Triangle out there between left fielder, shortstop, and third. And so the winning run is on first base. And Paisley Cowley comes up. Shows bunt, lays it down, foul. And the defensive change before Platt started her at bat, I believe, was Maya Parada coming into third base. The 0-1 to Cowley. Misses inside, 1-1. Platt's got to be careful over there at first. Doesn't want to get too aggressive and run herself out of the situation. Here's the 1-1. Line drive, center field, base hit for Cowley. The winning run now at second base. That'll bring up Maisie Madison, the cleanup hitter in the order for Utah. She went 2 for 2 in the loss yesterday, but has struggled today with 2 strikeouts. We'll see what she can do here. Nancy Platt is the only run that matters if you're Utah, and she stands at second base. Up and in. Nearly loaded the bases there. As Madison was able to stretch out of the way. Utah 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position today. Maisie Madison trying to change that. Heading the count 2-0. Madison fights that one off, 2-1. Nancy Platt at second, itching to get off to the races. And trying to walk it off for Utah. Here's the 2-1 to Madison. Swing and a miss. Good pitch from Jada Drake to even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. The winning run standing at second base. Here's the 2-2 to Maisie Madison. Swing and a miss. Jada Drake gets a huge strikeout for out number 1. And that will bring up Warren Ramos. And if there's one person that I imagine wants to get this win here in the bottom of the 6th more than anybody, it's Ramos, who gave up the 3 runs pitching in the top half of the inning as Northern California tied it. She's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored today. Jada Drake bears down. First pitch swinging right at the second baseman Ortiz, and it's a double play. Ramos, a line shot to second. Cowley caught hanging off of first. Double play for Northern California. We go to extra innings here in San Bernardino. We head to extra innings here in San Bernardino, California, as Northern California scored 3 runs in the top of the 6th, and then a double play with 2 on and 1 out in the bottom of the 6th to keep their hopes alive. Layla Ortiz makes the catch and doubles up the runner at first on the line drive out. Here's the extra inning rules. The 7th inning is played as normal. Starting in the 8th inning, offense begins at bat with a runner at second base. The runner on second base will be the player scheduled to bat last that inning. So the ghost runner rule that has become the norm in Major League Baseball. We will see that if we get to an 8th inning. But first, the 7th. And Northern California seems to have all the momentum right now. Anya Kapoor to lead things off. Aspen Hannigan and Layla Ortiz behind her. When Ramos deals. And Ramos trying to shake off the tough top of the 6th inning, and then she lined out the double play to end the bottom of the 6th. Fouled off 1-1. Kapoor has struck out twice in today's game. Ramos ready is at the 1-1. Line drive, right center field, in for a base hit. Kapoor on for the first time today with a leadoff single. So Kapoor the go-ahead run as Aspen Hannigan steps in. Walked and scored in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th. Showing bunt, laying it down, foul ball. And if you're trying to lay down a bunt against Utah, I think you want to get it as far away from the catcher Nancy Platt as possible. Maybe the best defensive catcher in the regional that we've seen. Got a great arm as well. Here's the 0-1. Hannigan shows bunt, pulls back, runner goes, throw. Gets into center field. Kapoor is going for 3rd. Here's the throw, not in time. And the go-ahead run for Northern California, 60 feet away. Kapoor at third, a 1-1 count on Hannigan. She's shown bunt twice, swinging away here, fouls it off. Again, this has kind of been the MO of the Northern California team. They were down in extra innings in the 8th inning of their state championship game, down 5. They tied it, down 1 in the 9th. They won it. Down 3 here today in the top of the 6th. With their tournament life on the line, they tie it. Now the go-ahead run here in the 7th at third base. The 1-2 as Hannigan fights it off. The 1-2. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch from Lauren Ramos. Northern California has not led at any point during this game. They were down 1-0 in the second. They were down 4-0, 4-1 in the third. Before the 6th inning, where they scored 3 runs to tie it, as Layla Ortiz takes a strike. Ortiz, a ground out and a walk in today's game. Anya Kapoor standing at third base, representing the go-ahead run. Ground ball to the shortstop. No play at the plate. Northern California takes the lead here on the top of the 7th. Ortiz does the job with an RBI. No chance for Alexi Walker to make a play at the plate as Kapoor was sprinting on the contact. So now there's 2 away for Maya Parada. And the first lead of the game for Northern California. Parada today struck out and grounded out. It's her favorite softball player is Jessica Mendoza. Three-0. Ramos delivers a strike, 3-1. And that's a walk. Parada on with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th, and now Azareas Garibaldi Munoz comes to the plate. Garibaldi Munoz looking to get on base for the 3rd time today. She walked in the 3rd and was hit by a pitch and scored in the 6th. The first of those 3 runs in the 6th inning to come to the plate. The last batter in the lineup for Northern California before it turns over to the leadoff hitter, Kita Gutierrez. Parada, a big lead off first, baiting a throw down from Nancy Platt, not in time. That one sent right back to the pitcher, Ramos. on to first to end the inning, but not before Anya Kapoor singles and scores to give Northern California the lead. Now Utah down to their final 3 outs as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Northern California is trailing until the top of the 6th inning, when they were able to get 2 runs on a ground ball to the pitcher. And then in the bottom of the 6th inning, when Utah was threatening a double play on a line out to the second baseman, Layla Ortiz, turns into a double play. And then in the top of the 7th, after a leadoff single by Anya Kapoor, a ground out allows Kapoor to score, and Northern California here in extra innings has their first lead of the game, and they're 3 outs away from advancing. Jada Drake pitching to Hadley Holt in the middle of this Utah lineup. And for the first time today, Utah playing from behind, and they need to score at least 1 run here, or else the game will be over. Foul tip, 1-1. Holt, a strikeout victim in the 2nd, popped out to the infield in the 4th. Swing and a miss, 1-2, and Holt not happy that she reached out for that one. Drake ahead in the count, 1-2. Changeup, fly ball, right to Izzy Aguirre for out number 1. Utah down to their final 2 outs now as Zoe Anzalone stands in. Zoe, a single in the 2nd inning, grounded out in the 4th. Swing and a miss late on that fastball from Jada Drake. Unitza Baez due up behind Anzalone. 0-2 now as Drake way ahead in the count. Drake's line today coming in relief from Maya Parada, 2 1/3. Has only given up 2 hits. Here's the 0-2. Zoe stays alive. Another 0-2 offering from Jada Drake. Changeup, got her swinging. 2 away. Northern California 1 out away from the comeback win. Great pitch from Jada Drake. Here's Unitza Baez with Utah's tournament hopes on the line. Swing and a miss. The 1-1 to Unitza Baez. Up in the zone, chasing a pitch. 1-2. Utah down to their final strike. The winner of this one will advance to play the winner of Hawaii and Nevada tomorrow at 3 Eastern. The 1-2 to Baez. Off-speed pitch trails away, 2-2. Break even to Baez. Strike three called on the outside corner, and Northern California completes the comeback. Down 3 runs in the top of the 6th inning, down to their final 3 outs. They score 3 to tie it, and they score 1 to win it in extras, 5-4 over Utah. Got one more West Regional game tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN Plus, Hawaii and Nevada. We hope you join us then, as all games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. Northern California wins it 5-4 and advances to play the winner of Hawaii and Nevada. I'm Eric Rothman saying so long. We'll see you in a few hours from San Bernardino.